Let's take a look at the structure of formal emails. We should begin with an opening line. Of course, the opening line is our greeting as well. If it's a formal email, you start with dear. Well, quite often when we write formal emails, we do not know the name of the person we are writing to. That is why we start with dear sir or madam. Or we do know the name of the person we're writing to, so we address this person by their last name. For example, dear Mr. Johnson or dear Mr. Smith. If it's a woman, we would say dear Ms. Smith, for example. It's a very interesting fact that when we are writing any email to a woman, we can use different titles, and you probably know them. So this can be Mrs., this can be Miss, and the third one is Ms. But did you know the difference? The easiest one is probably Mrs. Yeah, Mrs. This is a woman. Miss, this is not married, a single lady. And when we say Ms., we don't want to specify whether the woman married or not married. And guess what? In modern business world, this option is the best here, because when doing business, you don't want to specify the marital status of the person. That is why people started using Ms. more often. Pay attention to pronunciation. You should say it as Ms., not Miss. Based on what opening line you use, the closing line should be corresponding to. For example, if you don't know the name of the person you're writing to, the closing should be yours faithfully in British English and sincerely in American English. If you know the name of the person you're writing to, then in British English you would say yours sincerely. In American English, it will be still sincerely. American English is more flexible. If you want to be more relaxed, you can say regards. Regards is also good for this type of emails. Informal email openings. Of course, it's just, you can say hi. You can just use the name of the person you're writing to, or even the first letter of their name. And when you want to close, again, you can say best wishes, you can say kisses and hugs, you can say warm regards, for example, but typically it's best wishes. As for IT emailing, you probably know that you don't start your email with dear. You may, if it's just the first letter ever to a very, very important person, but typically people use hello or hi when they write emails in IT. So you can say hi John, hello John, or you can say just hi, hello, or just the name of the person if this is not your first email today. And when you want to close your email, you would have to say something like regards is the most popular. You can say best regards, you can say warm regards, you can say thanks, or just yours. It's not very typical to say best wishes. It's more for friendly style when you're writing to a friend, for example, somebody close, but this is not very good for day-to-day business communication style. One more thing I would like to mention, no matter what style you follow, you have to also consider punctuation here. I have seen many times people use commas before the name of the person they're writing to. For example, like you would say in Ukrainian or Russian, you say hi, comma, John. It doesn't work in English. In English, you should say hi, John, and then you use comma. There is no periods here. There is no comma after hi ever. So be careful with that. I know it can be really tricky because it requires us to think in English, but when we translate from our native language into English, this is when we make those mistakes.